Kia ora, New Zealand. Today, as part of our Make Difference Count campaign, we're interviewing Laura Cibilich. Laura is the design director for strategic design and advertising agency Run, who are based in Auckland. Laura is an award-winning marketing, advertising, and communications expert. And in 2018, in fact, she was the only New Zealander to be named in the Asia Pacific Women to Watch list. So we're delighted to be able to interview Laura today and to find out how the pandemic has impacted their business and also what they're doing to support their customers and clients to make difference count. So without further ado, let me bring Laura into the room. Hi, Laura.
Hi, how are you, Carol?
Very well, thanks. Welcome and thank you for making the time to speak to us today about your business and what you're doing.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, awesome.
Great. Laura, so tell us a little bit about your agency, what you do, how long you've been going, and yeah, just a bit of background for the viewers.
Yeah, sure. My name's Laura Cibilich. I'm the co-founder and design director of an agency called Run. So we're a design and advertising agency, kind of creative. We do a whole lot of creative stuff, so ranging from brand strategy, branding, graphic design, and creative advertising. And so part of that is websites as well, which we'll kind of explore a bit further later on. We've got a wide range of clients and do some really exciting creative stuff.
Great. So what industries do you typically work in?
We've got quite a few clients in the tourism industry, so Tourism UA, for example, and a whole lot of others, like we've done work for 2 Degrees, the United Nations, a whole range of industries, right from like small startups to big organizations.
Great. So right across the industry sector.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Awesome. And thinking about, I guess, before the pandemic and, how your business was doing, what was happening for you in your industry?
Yeah, well, we were really lucky. We were having a great start to the year. Business was booming, really. You spoke to anyone in the creative industries and it was a really buzzing time, like a lot of work going through. Lots of big projects. It was a really good start to the year. Perhaps not so much in publishing. Got friends in that area and they were kind of seeing the ramifications of China coming through in other countries. But yeah, New Zealand was going really well, ticking along nicely. Yeah.
Great. And so obviously, like the rest of the world, we've all been impacted by this pandemic and it's really happened overnight. Which is pretty scary for a lot of people. What's been the biggest impact on your business, Laura?
Well, as I said, we've got a few clients in the tourism industry, so we kind of started to see that come along perhaps a bit more for New Zealand. People stopped, cancelling trips or not travelling as much, events being cancelled, things like that. We were supposed to actually be in Niue end of March, but instead we're in lockdown. Things like that. So it kind of, for us happened kind of gradually, but a lot of that work's kind of stopped or we're coming up with recovery plans and things like that. So tourism industry has definitely changed.
Yeah, absolutely. And from your perspective, if you think sort of post the pandemic, what the world's going to look like, do you have an opportunity to change up the way you're working, do you think, and perhaps offer some of your services in a different way to how you were offering them?
Yeah, I suppose. We kind of, in terms of working environment, we were kind of working remotely a bit anyway. We're a small agency and some of the team would be working from home or would be working while travelling and talking back to the team that way through email and video calls anyway. Clients are around the world as well or around the country. So we kind of had the systems in place to work remotely anyway, which is lucky for us. But I think, the world's going to look quite a lot different, obviously, after this. And, once the New Zealand lockdown's over, it's not just going to kind of click back to normal. It'll be a kind of a slow burning, coming out of those progressive levels, hopefully back to some kind of normality. But I think for businesses, we've got to just think differently. How can we pivot business, or what's, put yourself in the client's mind, or what will your customers or new potential customers be looking for right now as we come out of this?
Yeah, indeed. And having run a successful business for some time already, and being, a very successful designer and marketer and communication specialist yourself, what advice can you give to small business in terms of, how to get through what's coming and basically build a successful business?
Yeah, I guess look at your existing customers, keep in touch with them. That's your first point of call. How can you help them out? What can you do with them? And it's all about helping each other as well. I don't think anyone's going to get anywhere by just selling right now at all. How can you pivot your business? How can you, differentiate your offering, or do something new that's going to work right now, kind of thing, in the next few weeks or months, or however long it takes. Yeah,
it sounds like being really agile and being able to think outside of the square is going to become more and more important.
Exactly, thinking creatively, really.
Which is what your agency is all about, really.
Yeah.
So talking about thinking creatively, you've obviously put your heads together and thought about how you're going to pivot and what you're going to do, but you've also given some thought to how you can give back, which is really why we're having this interview. So I'd love to hear more about your thinking around that and what it is that you are able to offer.
Yep, exactly. Cool, thanks. We've launched kind of a pay what you want for a website offer. So we're thinking about what's our skill set, how can we help other people or other businesses, and an online presence is so important right now. If you can't be found online, then you're kind of nowhere. So we wanted to use those skills to help others in that kind of way, give them a digital presence. So we got our creative thinking caps on, and it's kind of like a win-win, helping others while still kind of keeping some workflow through for our staff as well, keeping them busy and the skills up, and
Great. So this offer could be open to someone who's in a startup and needing a website presence, but perhaps also an existing business who's looking to increase their profile through a website presence as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So we've had all sorts right now. We've had a few startups, so they might not be ready. They're looking at launching perhaps May. So getting online sooner rather than later. And like a plumber who wasn't online. Medical supply company, things like that. A wide range, but also a person who's in the tourism industry, so obviously not a lot of work happening there right now, and they're wanting to use their skills to help others and try and generate some income for themselves at the moment while they can, so that kind of thing as well.
Awesome.
And we've been pretty flexible with the offer. There's a kind of a list of criteria we've put on the website, but it's pretty flexible with that.
Fantastic. So it sounds like a really broad range of industry sectors. And are you seeing that people who were intending to go into business or were sort of at the startup stage are forging ahead anyway, and kind of being able to see through the pandemic to the other end? Would that be your sense?
Yeah, some of them are, even if it's like kind of a side business or a project that's launching later. I can't quite talk to them individually. I think there's some confidentiality issues there. But they'd plan to kind of have their business kind of up and running May, a few of them actually, and they're just wanting to get it out now and have a digital presence. And even if they're holding meetings or still not ready to launch their products or services, that just, everyone's looking online right now, so that gives them that digital presence for people to be looking at that they were having meetings with and things like that.
Yeah, that's really great, because it's important, I think, that we look through the immediate to the future, and that we're encouraged by the fact that, this came upon us very quickly, but it also won't last forever.
Exactly.
And so, what comes after that, I think it's important to keep our eyes focused.
Yeah, thinking about the big picture and long term, short term it's going to look very different in the next few weeks and months, but out from that, hopefully it's going to be, well, not back to normal, but you've just got to keep your eye on that picture and get through it together, really.
Yeah, great. So Laura, if you think about your business and your agency and your employees and so forth, what's been a winning formula for you to enable you to be in business and obviously do as well as you have done in your industry?
Cool, yeah. So we started in 2008, I started the company, and it started from a graphic design business. I was a graphic designer, and it gradually grew to become more of a creative agency. My husband and business partner comes from the big ad agency world, so I brought a lot of that skill set in, and he's now full-time for Run, and that's part of why we renamed to Run as well. And yeah, it's just... What remind me of the question again?
Yeah, what's been your winning formula? What's made you successful, do you think?
I think just the creative thinking, really. Thinking from a strategic point of view, as well as the creativity side. As two creatives coming together to run a business, it's not always worked, but we've had help in that area and realised that. And so a bit of mentoring and stuff, and just having the systems and strategies in place, and it's also working across a variety of projects and clients and industries. We haven't been too niche, which is nice to kind of keep the creativity up and get some fun projects through.
So during this time of separation, how have you managed to connect? I know you've only got a small handful of employees, but how do you manage to connect with your employees and your clients? What is it that you're doing to create that inclusive work environment?
Yeah, I guess just keeping in contact more, keeping in touch. We start the day with a video call with everyone. That's kind of a daily thing now instead of kind of a Monday morning whip. We've had like the dress up kind of meetings, things like that, making it fun, having like a theme or a hat meeting and things like that, and just keeping in touch throughout the day. Like a lot of video calls, even if you want to run something past or like a screenshot of something, or we're quite agile like that. Just keeping going, and a lot of to and from emails as well, but a lot more video calls. So it's been nice.
Yeah, so the importance of having that face-to-face contact, very much, especially in the creative space, I would imagine.
Yeah. It's been a little harder. It's always nice to bounce ideas off the person when they're right there and show them in progress. So we're trying to get that through more. If you're drawing a sketch, send a script, a little photo through or something like that, and we can go from there. But working at it.
Great. And what encouragement would you offer other small businesses out there during this, horrendously difficult time?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what industry you're in, but I think it's hard for everyone across the board, really. Different times, unusual times, and challenging times. And I think you've just again, kind of just think of that long-term big picture. It's hard to think of right now and what's going on now in your business, and getting through that. But do all you can, look at your overheads, and try and cut down on those, and just again, how can you do things differently?
Great advice. So Laura, how can people get in touch with you to take you up on your wonderful offer?
Cool. Yeah, they can visit paywhatyouwant.co.nz. So all the details are there. Kind of says a little bit about the offer. This building like a brochure site on the Squarespace template platform. Yeah, and again, just get in touch with us from there. We're pretty flexible with it. So yeah, just want to help people really.
Sounds fantastic. Okay, Laura, well, thank you so much for your time and for sharing your thoughts about what's important in business now, and most importantly for making this offer available to people out there so that we can work together to keep the New Zealand economy going, which I think is a priority for all of us, big and small.
Exactly. Thanks for having me, Karen.
You're welcome, and I wish you all the best in the future, and hopefully we can check in again in a few months' time, and hopefully we're all coming out the other end and can sort of pick up where we left off.
Definitely, yeah, we're all in this together, so yeah, kia kaha.
Thank you. All right, take care, and we'll talk again.
Carol.
All right,
Cheers.
bye.
Bye.